reading.
All right. So I'm Nicollete Acosta. I'm a member of the public. I'm a taxpayer, and I'm here to talk about the situation at Miami-Dade Animal Services Department. If you follow my social media, which is Lotus Gold Dog Food on Instagram and TikTok, you will see that all the facts that I've proven there time and time again. We're in a constant struggle with Miami-Dade Animal Services Department because there's a very big lack of transparency and accountability, and ultimately it's led by the mayor and the administration at the shelter. And this is happening, in my opinion, nationwide. So this is, my ultimate goal is for this to be the staple for shelters to continue to get better, because what's happening there is just, it's unacceptable, and if we did that, it'd be criminal.
Mm-hmm. So my name is Mercy. I'm from Miami-Dade Today and Mercy's Corner podcast, and we're here in this battle with Nicollete. We met actually in a podcast. Well, yeah. You came to my podcast,
yeah,
and you told me everything was going on. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. And then now we're seeing it's getting worse and worse and worse. And as a taxpayer, single mom, both of us are single moms, we're just very upset what's going on with the shelter. And what it's more, let's see, I want to say in like a mean way, but not in a mean way, but it's more disgusting. I don't want to say bad words.
Disturbing.
But disturbing and disgusting of the lies from our from our mayor and from the director of the shelter. Since the last time we met, we talked, it was bad, but now we're seeing roaches, we're seeing Rocky passed away, we see how disgusting the mentally shelter is working, the conditioning, and we just, it's just very disturbing. It's very disturbing. I actually even opened a website in change.org to remove living cattle, because this is not just the shelter. It's so many things going on that it's very, very...
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's a massive mafia move.
Yes.
That's how I feel anyway.
That's what I feel too.
I'm not here to sugarcoat anything.
No,
I'm
me
not
either.
here to be friends with anybody.
Correct.
And if you don't like what I have to say,
we even went to the budget meeting, and you asked on a Wednesday. She didn't answer, so I go, don't worry, I'm gonna get her the next day. And I sat right in front of her, and she told us in her face that the shelter is doing the best. It got an award for being the best in the United States, and
my best friends,
the best, yes. And I'm like, is this a joke? They're like, you guys are like lying to us in your face. But to us that we're behind the scene, but if they say that to someone that doesn't go to budget meetings, doesn't get a form, they're gonna say, oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, they believe it. Yeah,
and that's why I get pissed off. Even if there's one person in the whole population of people that are defending, the majority of people are defending, the show, like the animals, basically being the voice, but there are those few people that are in the mix that seem to be defending the other side, and I have a serious problem with that, because it is a weak link, and it does the same way that one person has the potential to get a dog adopted just from one share. You could be influencing masses. And people don't do their own research.
Right.
Everything that we say, that I say, that you say on your podcast, everything is fact-based.
Correct.
Like, I don't know how much more straight up and clear things need to be. This isn't when you have a situation, or even in life, like if somebody says that they have a problem everywhere they go, it's not everyone. Everyone is not wrong.
Right.
Like, it is you're the problem. The county lacks serious accountability on every single level. And the problem here that I have is this is not just the county taking an extra $200 from our insurance. No, you're dealing with lives, dogs and cats' lives, people's psychological and mental status from the public. We have so many people in the public that have given me stories, pictures, information, emails from the shelter in response to dogs and cats that they've lost at the shelter's fault.
Right.
You know, like
I thought we started this battle now, but there's someone that we met that he's been fighting with the shelter for the past like maybe 3 years, more than like 3 years, and now he's like
for Chanel.
For Chanel, correct?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's Roger Amador.
Yes,
and he's another one that gives zero.
Yes,
zero health.
He's been doing all this by himself, and then now that we're joining with him, And we didn't know that it was like this forever.
The problem is that in this county, if you don't have money, you don't get very far.
Correct.
Yeah, you have social media and, you know, your credibility, but in terms of money, when there's big players involved, and there's other players involved here, it's not just Miami-Dade County and the people that are showing face. There is some silent players here that are manipulating the system behind the scenes, a lot of them. And again, if you don't have money, how do you pull records requests? Because the county charges you every time. Like I was telling you before, I just paid $60 to pull some records, and it was a few records. It wasn't anything crazy. To prove your point, which is insane to me, because the reason why they hired, if everybody doesn't know them by now, there is a third-party auditing company called Best Friends Animal Society. They do audits on shelters. I think it's over 5,000 shelters nationwide. They basically come in and they audit the shelter, and they're the ones that stamp the shelter no kill. And I really want to make something very clear. I think it's ridiculous that they would state something and hashtag it and make it like a staple that states no kill.
Correct.
No kill means you are not killing, okay? You're deceiving the public. You are killing. Because if you go right now to Miami-Dade Animal Services Department, to my account, to the volunteer accounts, you will see that there is several dogs on euthanasia deadlines, and they don't fit the criteria that Best Friends Animal Society is stating. Meaning that 10% kill rate that they say, they should be either non-manageable behavior-wise, or physically ill, or owner-requested euthanasia, which is another topic. But the point is, these animals are none of those. So why are you killing them? What's your excuse? But again, when you have the mayor looking you dead in the face saying, I'm so proud of the director. Get the fuck out of here. Are you crazy? Like, I mean, I've dealt with crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's not really surprising. I knew going into this that this was going to be like this. And to be clear for everybody listening, I spent months before I opened my mouth on social media of doing my due diligence and research, physically in-house with the shelter, literally going there. I even took time off of my job to do this. Like, you know, I took my vacation time was to do this because this is my passion, and I believe that there is so much wrong here. And every time you go there and you see these dogs' faces and you see the living conditions that they're in, it's you just can't stop. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that the Medley shelter was the shelter that we decided to kind of put out there, like portray, like, because it was a measurable outcome type of thing. Like, so we were able to measure the temperature. We were able to show, like, the proof of, you know, the living conditions of the dogs, that there was no AC. But when people go to the Doral shelter and they see that, Medley actually is better. They're like, if I had a dog, I would prefer my dog to be at Medley. Like, if I had to choose for a dog which one to be at, and I have to agree with them. That's, you are literally comparing bad to bad. And that's the problem with this whole environment. Is when I first started this, I remember the person from Best Friends, his name's Scott. I met him at the shelter. He was there on a day that they euthanized a dog in front of my face. This dog reacted to a kennel worker, which there's no cameras, so how are these workers treating these dogs behind the scenes?
Yeah, there's no cameras. Well, there is cameras, but they're not working.
They're not working. Well, no, but in Doral, there's no cameras in the kennel areas.
Yes, there is.
There is?
There is in the hallway, but...
In the hallway?
No, inside there, but they're not facing the kennel.
Right.
And they're not working. They've been down for a couple months because I asked the director when they showed us.
I have proof from Georgina Vargas, the person that runs the records request, and she told me there was no responsive records for several times that I asked for those requests. But
so why do people prefer the Medley than the Doral?
Because the dogs have a full kennel run usually,
and it's bigger.
So the actual space is bigger. There is a quarter of the dogs there, so there's about 100 dogs there compared to the 400 or 500 at Doral. So yes, there's only a handful of volunteers and staff that go there, but it's there's really no traffic during the week because they also don't open during the week to the public. So it's a double-edged sword. Like, okay,
why do they do that? Why are they only open on Saturday and Sunday?
I'm assuming they don't do it because of the staffing. Medley is only open Saturday, Sunday from 1 to 4. And outside of that, You can't see a dog.
But there's people there. There's volunteers there?
Yeah, there's volunteers there every day of the week, and literally a handful of staff. And those staff members and those volunteers, I will say, are there physically sweating and doing the work with these animals. But it's like, how do you, and if you've seen the Medley shelter, it looks like a rundown third world country prison.
Yeah.
Like,
prisoners live better.
and then you hear the
I know
barking.
everybody gets mad when I say this, but prisoners in Miami-Dade live better than the dogs in the shelter.
These dogs are innocent. Like, I have to drive it home that these dogs, man's best friend for a reason. And you know, I say this till I'm blue in the face. Even if the person is not an animal lover, you should still be pissed off that they're using your money for this. They're using your money and basically laughing in everyone's face, like saying we don't have to show you anything.
Mm-hmm.
The budget has been broken down over and over and over and over again. And we can only get so far because there is no way to track where they're actually physically putting the money.
Right. Definitely not in the place. Maybe the lot is worth $43 million, but not inside the place.
No, and then the lot. Okay, so Doral is 5 acres. So now they're opening a new shelter in 2 years. Wow. It's just the same 5 acres over there at Homestead. So what did you do? There's barely any space at Doral. The setup is terrible.
Yeah.
The dogs are in half kennel run, so that's the new state-of-the-art shelter. From the outside, it looks really nice.
Right.
But on the inside, when you go in there, it's a shithole.
It is.
And if you go all the way to the back, if you're lucky enough to go back there, because they don't allow certain people back there where the roaches live,
right?
You'll see that the dogs are really worse off there than they are Medley. They get consistently overlooked. They don't get as much walks because there's too much traffic. There's too much going on at the same time. That's the main shelter. And it's just, there's no standard operating procedures for half of the procedures that they're doing there. The vet clinic is a joke. Okay, the sterility issue that they have there, the amount of dogs and cats that they have that have passed away from botched surgeries, because there is a contract with UF that one of the vets put into place, and basically she's making double the money. I think it's Serrano. I can't remember now if it's Serrano or Duran, but because they're both.
I met
terrible,
Duran.
in my opinion.
I met Duran.
Yeah. So I think it's Serrano now. It's too much. One of them is basically making double the income while they're working
It's so
at the
crazy.
same place.
They make a lot of
How
money.
do you come to the county and say, hey, I would like this program done through UF where you contract vets to us, but I'll be the teacher.
Yeah.
Because I already work here, so you just pay me an additional salary. So she's making more money at the same time, in the same place, like double the income. Just like, what? Who approves this? Like, how does this happen?
So my question to you, if they call you right now, let's pretend the county called you and go, Nicollete, I want you to work in the shelter. What will be your first things to change?
I'd take Best Friends Animal Society out, 100%. There's no
100%.
reason why. The applications for the positions that they never filled, yet they were budgeted for, need to go up. And everybody needs to be making.
Do you think they're short-staffed?
They're short-staffed because they don't hire them.
Because they have a lot of volunteers. If I'm pretty sure volunteers won't
60
show
to
up.
70% of their work is through volunteers.
I say even more.
Yeah.
I say even more because volunteers are the ones. I've gone on Sunday at 9:30 in the morning. The volunteers are the one that's cleaning the whole kennel with hose and fabuloso and everything. And the staff was like in the corner looking at her. I'm like, this is wrong.
Yeah, and there's a lot of volunteer turnover there too because it's an emotionally draining environment.
So what happens if the volunteers boycott?
The dogs will suffer. They don't care. The same way that they're closed on holidays. And I don't care what anybody tells me. You barely can function on a day that you're open to the public with a full staff. When you're closing on a holiday, you're only allowing the senior volunteers in. Keep in mind that at Medley, only certain volunteers can go there because you have to have a certain amount of hours.
I didn't know that.
It's literally like one hoop after another, after another, after another. And mind you, all these protocols are put into place by people that have no credentials. And qué modo? Like
because
how?
supposedly the Medley dogs are the ones that are that well behaved. So do you have to have like a couple hours before you go to the Medley? That's what they were explaining to me the last time I went.
It's like 100 hours. But the thing is, again, the behavior. They're assessing these dogs based on what? Who's their behavior coordinator?
Right.
This person has
No, and a dog being in a kennel all day, obviously they're gonna be bad.
like, I mean, it's everything is one thing affects the other, affects the other, affects the other. And nobody's sitting here saying that we don't understand that there's a problem with breeding in this country. Like, we know that there's backyard breeders. But let's be real. You don't really find Yorkies and Poodles at the shelter. And maybe 1 or 2 golden retrievers that get picked up like this. It is specific areas of the county, and it is mostly the same breeds over and over again that are getting backyard bred. Yeah, there needs to be laws put in place, but the 2 truths still exist. Yes, we need the laws to change, and that's a big deal. But also, that doesn't mean that you get a pass to not do your job. It would be the same as me, my job, and I'm just not gonna take care of my patients because people should take better care of their kids. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. You're responsible for that. You signed up for that, and you make a lot of money. These people make more money than most of us sitting here. Like, significant.
And they don't do anything.
They don't have to
They're there in that job
anybody.
because they knew. Okay, so Annette knew Living Cava before she became mayor. I don't know if it's true. It's the rumor. She had a problem. She was a social worker. And she had a problem, and they fired her, and Living Cava gave her this job. Yeah. So that's where me and politicians get in an argument, because they don't hire the correct people. They hire people because it's called nepotismo.
Same as Heather Keaton from the Seaquarium.
They all know each other, so they give each other the jobs. That's what happened to Hialeah, a politician who's like a councilman. He hired his mom to be the building inspector, que sé cuánto, and it happens a lot. It happens a lot, and they should do something to let that stop happening. Because Annette, you can't even have a conversation with her, because at the end, when you try to talk to her, she's like, no, I don't want to talk.
She doesn't know. It's almost like she doesn't even know what's going on.
Correct.
Or she doesn't care to know, or she's really that uneducated.
Like the director of the airport, you ask him, the airport's falling apart. He's like, no, the airport's not falling apart. And then you tell Annette the shelter needs a lot of improvement. No, that we just got an award for the best shelter in the United States. I'm like, girl, where?
The thing is, the people are like, for someone to get, for the mass administration to get on the same level and to look the public, the millions of people that are watching now, and say publicly through news stations, which is all corrupt as well, but either way, like to sit there with a hard face and be like, we don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. Like, what is it gonna take for these people?
It's a little campaign that's attacking us.
Like, how do you like get around these? This is psychotic to me. To me, for somebody to look me in the face and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, is this an AI? Like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. And that happens a lot. In person, I mean, this happened to me when I first started a couple weeks
I knew
in.
she was should I say by word, a shitty person. But the day of the second protest that we did, that we were outside, that she came with her car, that she put and she put her windows down, that she sticks her middle finger in people's faces, and she was recording. That's the day I knew this is not a shitty person. This is a psychotic, basura, trashy person. And then that's when I'm like, oh my God, this is.
There's no empathy. There's no reality for this.
And then she left, and then when they brought the state, Fabian, the state representative she came back, and she was like showing him everywhere, and he's like, lady, this place is falling apart. When the commissioner, Castro came, that she was like, no, it's just a little campaign that they're doing towards us. And she had to say no.
Wait, but let's talk about when Channel 7 did the interview. What about that little gem? That guy came with his, oh my God, here's the fan. Oh, look, there's air.
Oh, yes.
Papa, like, come on. That's not how it works.
Karma hit him really hard.
No, he chose that. He was a piece of shit from the beginning. And anybody that comes and says to the dogs, okay, calm down, with that demeanor. Again, wait, tremenda cara dura they have. Like, you're seeing this on public television. That's why I don't give a damn. That's why I don't give a shit. If somebody wants to step up and challenge me to a debate and come interview me, and I'll tell you, here's the facts. Like, you can say things till you're blue in the face. Me too. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop fighting for these animals. It's It's so inhumane. And imagine this is this much of what's going on. Can you imagine the layers and layers and layers of problems here?
Yeah.
The animals are the ones that suffer the most because most people don't know that the Miami-Dade Animal Services Department is considered the essential parts of the county's budget. And really,
a lot of people don't know that.
That's a big deal. That's a really big deal because people are not understanding that that budget, together with police, fire, and health, don't get cut. I don't know where they get the money from. They have to get it. That's not getting cut. Like the airport, transportation, whatever, that could get cut. But as far as
the arts
those,
could get cut, but
they can't cut that.
Right.
Every single year, and this is all public knowledge, every single year, the county has received more and more and more funding. Millions of dollars. And more budgeted positions. Why is it that who's the person in charge was saying, okay, they just approved, we went to the commissioners meeting and they just approved us to get 20 more people for kennel. They just never put those positions out. And then at the end of every quarter, then you're getting people like Annette getting bonuses.
Yeah.
And then when I brought it to the attention of the public, you know, I posted the paycheck that I saw, that was 14 grand, and then the following was 9 grand. So $5,000 different. Like, where's that money coming from? That doesn't add up to 250K. Not to mention that anybody that in a 4-year span jumps almost 200 grand, what are you doing for the shelter? Okay, you want a raise or you got a raise? Why do you deserve this raise?
Right.
I don't know about you, but in my job, ain't nobody getting no participation trophy and no raise unless you have something to show for it. A metric, a measure. Like, you're not sitting here just, oh, you showed up to work on time today. Yeah. $300,000. Here you go. Like, she went from 60K to 250 in 4 years.
In 4 years.
That's massive.
It is.
But then the dogs are still in that, and you're still crying now on television saying that you need more supplies? Seriously?
Because they get donators too. They get a lot of donations from a lot of people.
You need donations. You need more. You need people to adopt, and you need people to foster. Okay, well, what are you doing? What exactly have you done? What policies have you updated? What have you physically done? Because the decisions that she makes are terrible as well. I personally don't like the events that they have. It's $100,000 sometimes to run an event. For what? For 4 or 5 puppies to get adopted? Because let's be real, people don't go there looking for a pit bull.
Right.
They're gonna get a puppy.
That's what I told them when I went to the meeting. I'm like, how come you guys don't do events here? Take them out from the kennel, you know, the hallway. They could do like take them out, like do a playpen and put them some there for people to see how they interact. Because sometimes when you go see them in the kennel, they do look scary. They look like they want to bite your hand off. But once you take them out, they're a different type of dogs. Because we see those videos before and after that you post. And I'm like, how come you guys don't do events? There are a lot of volunteers have side jobs that they have their own business. Tell them to rent a table, and that table helps for money for the gloves, because they say they spend a lot of money in gloves. So I'm like, you rent a table for $25. That money is gonna go to the shelter, and then you bring food trucks, bring influencers for them to do video. And I'm still waiting for them to answer me.
The thing again, and this is me coming to this conclusion after doing all this investigating and seeing it for myself. The reason why it will never make sense is because they don't want it to. They know what they need to do. This is not a problem of let's offer them the solutions. They know that they have the resources for free. Half the people will do it for free. Several volunteers have come to their attention with plans, with things to better the shelter, things that don't even cost them money, ways to raise funds. That doesn't benefit them, because then they can't scam the county and pocket more money.
Right.
That's the reality is that if they got more dogs adopted and they didn't have the intake that they had, they wouldn't have as many the problems that they have. But then again, they wouldn't be able to ask for more money every year, going back to the commissioners in the county and say, hey, we need more money because we're up to here. But there's a big loophole, because there's no way to track from intake to outcome. There's a part of the library lease rate, which I'll explain in a different video on my Instagram, that people are not understanding, which is the save rate versus the library lease rate. And in a nutshell, what's happening is, in my opinion, every single dog and cat that comes through the door, you are providing a service. There should be an outcome. Meaning, it doesn't matter if I brought you 35 cats today, 35 cats should be in your system to where I can say, what happened to each cat? Or dog, doesn't matter. But what they're doing is, when a person comes in from the street, brings a stray or a dog or a cat that they want to euthanize, they're allowed to take that number out of the calculation. So what happens is these people are bringing in these animals. I don't want this dog anymore. I don't whatever. And in that moment, technically, they can choose that dog is not going to be, it's going to be part of the intake, but there'll be no outcome. So what happens is you don't even know the accurate number of dogs that they're killing. And the trap and release cats, they're counting them, and you'll see in my next video, I have a very specific paper that they filed last year. You'll see where they intake 18,000 cats for trap and release, meaning they leave again, and best friends told them you cannot count that as intake, yet they are. As part of that 30,000 animals that they have, those 18,000 cats don't count. They don't count as part of your intake. So when you take all that out of the equation, you have two problems. One, you're not intaking as much as you say you are. So 43 million it should be way more than enough. But nobody knows that because they're not explaining this to the county.
Right.
And number two, we don't really know how many dogs and cats you're killing to use to manipulate the numbers, to make that 90% save rate. Because if you took in, 100 animals and you had to kill 20 of them, 10 of them, you could technically put them in the slot that they were owner requested euthanasia. Who's gonna know? And then if I want the medical records, I gotta have thousands of dollars to request them. It's seamless. It's actually brilliant. But it's the biggest funnel for money in this country. I'll say it every time. It's because the animals don't talk. The police and the fire department, they're gonna complain. You and I will complain, but the dogs and the cats are not gonna complain. Nobody's gonna know. And people, when they're hurt over their dog or their cat, they don't go down this road. They don't wanna talk about it. They don't even wanna go there ever again. That, my dear Annette, Jose, and everybody standing up for the shelter, that is what's redirecting people from going and adopting at the shelter. Not the transparency and the accountability. It's the way that y'all are treating these people and the way that you're rolling the dice every time you take your dog or your cat there.
So a lot of people ask me, how come the mayor of Doral doesn't get involved? It's because the shelter it's considered as Miami-Dade. And I also, I've sat down with commissioners from Miami-Dade and I have talked about this, but I don't know why they don't do anything about it. And I always tell them, I'm like, I don't know who's your campaign manager, but the animal community, they vote. You guys go to Los Viejitos and you go to other communities, but the actual people that vote are animal lovers. And if you do something for them that they're happy, if you do some changes in the shelter, I'm pretty sure they're gonna vote for you. So I don't understand what is it that stops them from doing something.
I think it's a political mafia. Like
it has to be, because I have sat down with Miami-Dade commissioners and I'm like, how come you guys haven't done any investigation in the shelter? And you do know, I don't know, again, I don't know who does your campaign, but the animal community is such a supporting community, because me, that I wasn't involved like you are, I've gotten so much love and so much support from my page because I've helped the animal community, and you too. So I'm like, if you help them, I'm pretty sure they're gonna vote for you. It's gonna be a win-win for both. How come they haven't do you don't know why what's going on?
I just think that it's a
mafia.
I think
it has to
really
be a mafia.
Big. I think it's really, really, really big, and it's there's a lot of money involved. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that again, there's people controlling the mayor too, to a degree.
Yeah, for sure. That we know for sure. We had to bring a commissioner from Coral Gables. We had to bring a councilman from Miami Springs, to bring from Hialeah, for them to do videos and do something. I know one of them did send a letter to the Santis. I know another one sent letters to Living Cabo that she's still waiting for an answer. And I'm like, how come they haven't done anything about it?
It's a lot of it is, like I said, there's not a lot of people with the grit that it takes to really
Living Cabo's career is over, because now when she announced that she's gonna run for governor, we're not gonna vote for her. We're gonna be the first ones to say, don't you dare vote for this woman. La pobre, she's I don't know. To me, she's a puppet. she has a team around her and they tell her what to do, what to say, how to act. And
But you don't get to that position without assuming that responsibility. You know damn well that when you go into that position, you're going to be to that merit unless you're ready to stand up for it. Like you know that you're.
But we don't
ready.
have anybody who will stand up.
That's the problem.
Now we have the commissioner from actually my district that he's vocaling a little bit more. But my worry is it too much vocal and not doing the work. Because I prefer, como we say, acciones no palabras. We don't want actions.
Yeah.
We want actions and no words. We don't want you to blah 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 on Instagram. We want you to do the work. So
Of course, absolutely, and that's always gonna boil down to that's why they handpick who they put where.
yeah.
It's not a.
When they offer me, do you want to run for commission? I'm like, no, because I do more outside than being a commissioner.
Well, that's why I'm not an official volunteer. That's why I just take the dogs out to the paw ventures and I foster and I do as much as I can. Not to mention that, we have other things going on. This isn't like my job. This is something that kind of like just led me down this path and I just took it because I really feel strongly about it. But in reality, this is like becoming like a full-time job for me. Like, it's exhausting.
You've gotten a lot of support, but you also have a couple little hate. How do you deal with the hate? Because I've seen that there's some people.
Straight on.
They protect the shelter. They're saying that you're wrong. I'm like, she has the proof. Because one thing that I love about you that when you do these videos, you come out with proof.
Yeah, because I know that it's very easy. First of all, you don't capture people's attention with just speaking. There's only so much that you can say. People can't empathize with that. People can empathize with seeing a bloody kennel, which I thought was going to be a lot more significant. I thought that was going to really blow people's minds away, but it was like it's like it never happened. I mean, that was a big deal, and that left a lot of people from the shelter like emotionally scarred from that. But nothing. I mean, straight on. I don't give a shit who you are. Like I said it from the beginning. I'm not scared of anybody, and I don't need anybody's approval. And if you have a problem with what I'm saying, then come at me with your facts. And that's just the thing. Every single person that has come at me on social media, including that psychopath from yesterday, it's all words. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing to back it up. And my thing is, I don't give passes to nobody.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you should be held to a high standard. It's not my fault that your director and your mayor holds you to a shitty standard.
Yeah.
That's not how it should be. I mean, you're making the money and you're supposed to be credentialed for this. And to do a half-assed job is a direct reflection. I mean, this award that they gave this social media person, you're getting an award because you're getting a dog that's been there for a long time adopted, which in reality, like I said, who knows? Because that dog was shared across a lot of social media accounts, including a lot of volunteer accounts. And, she got this dog adopted. To go out of your way, 3, 4, 5 people that were involved, to go and create a certificate to give this person is a direct reflection of the consistency of the people that are there. There's nothing upstairs. The lights are on. Nobody's home. Like, come on. Like, seriously?
No. I told, the day that I sat with the directors, I told them, those volunteers, you need to have a red carpet, and every time they walk in, throw them flowers, feed them, because they do so much for those shelters. I'm like, no, we want to do it like an event. I'm like, no, not an event. You have to buy them lunch daily, red carpet, give them flowers, because they do so much.
And
so much.
And
like, we're like in 4 or 5 group chats together, and you see the volunteers sending emails to the aunties daily.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
the thing is, and most of the volunteers don't even need that like pat on the back. Like, they genuinely do it because they want to.
But I think that they deserve it because they're there all day. There's one that has black hair. She's there all day,
Yeah,
and then the weekend she's all day in the Menley shelter.
Yeah, like it's again, it's psychologically taxing. And then they have them up against the wall. They basically say like they got rid of that volunteer that did the medley post with the fans. She got booted out of being a volunteer.
She can never be a volunteer again?
No, I mean, I don't know about again, but she's not allowed to be there now. Who knows? Maybe the next director, whatever. But they have them up against the wall. They have them basically like, blackmail. Like, if you do this, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna, you're not gonna. And then of course, as an empathetic person, you're like, oh my God, if I can't volunteer, who's gonna take out these dogs, and who's gonna,
Yeah.
It is so messed up. Like, that's again, that's the part of me that every day I wake up and I'm like, this is so draining. But then I think about all these things and I'm like, I can't. Like the side of me of being fair is just too big for this to continue to go like this. Like this, I just started exposing all this stuff like in what, April?
Yeah.
We're only in August.
Yeah. And
So,
we've done so much. Yeah.
You know, things are going progressively slower than I thought, but I mean, they are moving. But it's just,
What do you think we should do, like, the next step? Because people want us to do another protest.
I personally don't know. I don't feel the protests do much, in my opinion. I think that the public pressure, because the protest is,
Wait,
it's
we
a
got-
double-edged sword because most
but
people see it.
Yeah, but we got a lot of people.
Yeah.
The first time I couldn't go, that you guys went to the government building. It was only like
yeah.
4. And then you did another one. We did one in Medley.
And then
no,
one
no,
at
no,
the main
in
shelter.
in the main shelter.
And then recently they did one that I couldn't go to
Tropical Park.
Park.
Yeah, I couldn't go either.
But again, it's like to me, it's like a double-edged sword too, because there's a lot of people that are like, "Well, you guys are protesting," and I understand, like, you should be over there helping the dogs, and people don't understand, like, that doesn't work like that. You can't just go into the shelter and just like, "Oh, let me help out," and like they make it practically impossible.
You have to do like an orientation.
Yeah, it's like-
you have to do like a class, right? Was it a class?
Yeah, a class, a background check. I think it's fingerprints, and then you have to come and orient with certain, and you have to have a certain amount of hours. You have to donate to them every month or every 6 months. I can't remember. And then just to go there to be dumped, literally masses of dogs in terrible conditions. And hello, half these people have pets at home, and they talk about all these outbreaks. This is not new. Like when Kava said on her interview yesterday, like, "Oh, Medley is great because it's an open air facility." Ma'am, the fans are literally blowing all the germs everywhere. Like, that's not how this works. I mean, the rationalization is wild to me. But, if there's anything that I want to, like, drive home is that everybody is free to do their own determining here of, like, you don't have to take my word for it, and you can do your own research. And I think that the biggest thing, too, is, like, every single person that I've met along the way has projected all this to where we are now. And I didn't even have a social media account prior to this. I started this with the dog food, and I just, like, literally one day to the next, I was like, forget it. Forget the dog food, I'm just gonna do this, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me, the money doesn't matter. Like, I just wanna, like, but the point is, like, getting involved, even if it's just that like, share, comment on any post, or even if it's like you see a neighbor or maybe they're interested in fostering or whatever, like anything that you do amplifies this significantly. I mean, it's hundreds of dogs potentially that you might influence because you got one person to adopt a dog, and now they're in the shelter and they see it, and that person's going to share it to their thousands of followers. And it's
yeah,
impressive.
when I posted my business page, we get a lot of dogs.
I have people reposting my videos that have nothing to do with animal welfare. I'm sure you're familiar with Caballo, the comedian.
Oh, yeah.
The other day he posted my thing. He's like, "I love the passion. Just tag me and whatever." And I'm like, okay. I wasn't even following his account. I felt bad. I was like, oh my god. But so you never really know, like who's involved in the background, and that's why I will say it, like, I know this is going to happen. And when it does, these people are going to be begging for mercy. No pun intended, but no, seriously. Like, seriously, like, it's going to happen.
No, I have a feeling that before December, someone's going to jail. I know Dawal already said it too. And me and him were like, tenemos algo ahí. I'm like, before December, I feel like someone's going to, because it's wrong. Money's missing, now it's found. Money's missing, and it's found again in the famous closet. And I'm like, hey, I want to live for that closet. And a lot of stuff is going on. People are very upset, because they voted on someone that they thought it was gonna make Miami better, and it's actually, we're falling apart. Single moms are struggling. Small business are struggling. I've been having my own business for 10 years, and this had it since, let's say, June. It's been slow. And my neighbor, that he has no social media, he's been open for 25 years, He told me the other day, he was like, I think I had to close down. No one's, I have a salon it's been open for so many years and it's slow. Everywhere's slow. And then they're like blaming in the president. It's not the president. It's the locals.
It's the local county. It's the local
We're
government.
focused more in Biden and Trump, and the problem is local.
Yeah, absolutely.
City of Miami wanted to remove the elections because they have nobody going out to vote. Hialeah wants to do the same thing. Hialeah has right now the huge water problem. Taxes going up. Miami Lakes, nobody went to the budget meeting, and the mayor approved 30.6 increasement of taxes there in Miami Lakes, with no approval from nobody because nobody goes out to show up. In the county, the same thing. I've gone to budget meetings. I've been going to budget meetings for 2 years, and we're the only ones that go there.
It's
this is the first time I see so many more people involved,
it's
and
because
hopefully,
people get tired too, and they don't think anything's gonna change,
But you have to be consistent. You have to be part of it. You have to be attacking them. And on Thursday at 2:00 is the budget meeting, and they're doing a press release on Thursday. So hopefully, we can. And rent is super expensive. in leases, rents. In Hialeah, they're trying to prove efficiencies to make it illegal for 5 different families to be in a household. That's crazy.
No. And have you seen FPL? I'm convinced they're stealing my electricity.
No.
Either they are or somebody from my neighborhood is.
It has to be because I'm in my office from every day, Monday to Friday, from 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock. My office electricity is 125. We have 8 rooms. My house, that no one's there, only my 3 dogs and my cat, they're sleeping there all day. The electricity is like $300.
Mine was $630.
No, me muero.
It doubled.
No.
Literally doubled, like overnight. I was like, I went back to the original analog meter. I'm not like I don't like those smart meters.
So we need people to get involved to your political. Go out and vote for these people. Vote them out. If they have backgrounds with establishment, vote them out. Bring new people.
It's hard because they're not, like.
That's why we had this page Miami-Dade today.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know anything about politics, so in terms of that. So every time I'm like, I wonder who is this person? I would go to your page. I'm like, okay, or ask because I have no idea. Like to me, I'm like so like hyper focused. And before this, I had no idea this was even a problem. Like nobody understands like this problem is so massive because. How do you learn about all these things if every other person is corrupt? So you don't even know what to believe. So it's really hard to like. So
follow our page, and that's where we take out the young people with no background establishments. That's what happens. A lot of politicians have been in the political world for years. Like we have our famous Joe from City of Miami. He's been in a politician since I was 1 year old. And he still wants to run for mayor. No, you didn't do anything. Time for you to go home. We need to bring. It's time to bring new people they do it because they love it, not because for the money. Because to be in the politician world, you don't make a lot of money. You get money from doing the corrupted shit, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
If you became a commissioner and you had an apartment, now you have a $1.2 million house in the Pinecrest, you're doing corruption. So those are the people that we need to vote out. So, que me siguen a mí.
Yeah. So, that's basically in a nutshell. If there's anything else that, this podcast could go on for hours.
No, we could be here until tomorrow morning.
This is going to be, mark my words, it's going to be on Netflix one day. Promise you. And when Joe Rogan gets wind of this, that's my next stop too. I'm not playing around with these people. I'm thinking like big. Like I see myself in the White House, like changing laws and all.
I see myself there. Yes. If they call me right now, I'll be the first one. Yes. Commissioner, no. But if you tell me, I did fill out the paperwork for a media influencer in the White House. So,
I mean, listen. There's been.
Yo sí no tengo nada corrupting. Yo no tengo establishment ni nada.
I mean, that's a reality. It's like it's you say like getting people in there that actually care and do it because and listen, checks and balances. Like hire the same thing. Somebody, I think it was a senator, asked me, well, what would you do if you were there? I'm like, hire another person, forget about best friends, forget about internal accountants.
Correct.
No. How about even somebody from another country?
A bookkeeper,
to
an
keep
accountant.
checks and balances that has no interest in what's going on here. to keep everything in line. Pero, like, it's, they know what to do.
No,
They're just
no.
not doing it.
Correct.
So, but that's now on the county level. Hopefully now when the big dogs step in, then they have to answer to them, and that's a whole nother level of, and I'm hoping that's what's gonna really.
I just tell
ultimately
everybody, just
break
buy a bag of popcorn because the Netflix series keeps on coming. It keeps on happening.
the seasons are coming out.
This is season 2, season 3 is when la whole van a caer because they're already here. They're here. One of the day that we went to the budget meeting, they were there. The next day they took out a paper of Dodge. That Dodge was here. So I know they're watching and I know they're looking. So we just have to be patient and hopefully we don't kill anybody. But
all right, well, that's it. I mean, if anybody has any other questions, for me, for her, like, she's super responsive as well with her accounts on Instagram. Again, mine's Lotus Gold Dog Food on Instagram and TikTok. I keep meaning to, I'm like on the fence about changing the name to just Lotus Gold Dog, because of the food. Everybody's like, wait, what other food? I'm like, that's a whole nother, but I don't want to change it because it's so like advanced now that I'm like, I just leave it. But, and then yours is,
Miami Day Today and Mercy's Corner podcast. Politician, I do know a little bit more.
No, 100%.
The dogs, I always tell them, I'm not sure, but you can go to her. That's why we make a good team because we work together perfectly fine because you know more, because you have a flexible time. And I know about politicians because of my parents, and I do like it. My job is to bring out the young people and help them get voted in.
And listen, guys, have a backbone. Like, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're thinking of running for something, do it. But like, get ready to stand up.
Correct.
Like my friends always say, like 10 toes down with your chest, like say how it is.
Yeah.
Stop feeding in to this sheep mentality.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really poor reflection of, you know, of the individual. And people do see that. And the good does prevail. You just have to stick it out, man. Like, I'm willing to go the distance. I know you are. So if you're going to go that route, just be ready to stand on what you believe in. And
100%.
things will figure itself out.
Correct.
You just have to be really, really headstrong and
yeah, because I've had politicians say, no, I don't want to snitch anybody out. I'm like, what? I'm like, give me their names. I'll snitch them out for you. I'll snitch them out for you. Don't worry, I got this. But because they're scared that they, you know, how about they do something to my family? How about if I lose my position? I'm like, you know what? If you believe in God, you need to do what's good. Even if you get fired, even if you lose money, you have to do what's good. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. That's why I don't want to be a commissioner, because I'll be the first one snitching everybody out. Mira, te está robando dinero en el shelter. Is this on? Mira, district this está robando dinero. Okay, I'm leaving. Bye.
Ay, bueno, Mercy, it was a pleasure again, as
Likewise.
usual. This is the second part of our first podcast, actually, because we did one that was half and half, because I had a dog with me that day and whatever. But that was just scratching the surface, and little by little, it's...
So stay tuned for part 3 and 4.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.